Enough! Show yourself!
All you had to do is ask, Batman! After all, I'm your #1 fan.
My fan.
The biggest.
And they call you...
My real name's unpronounceable to humans, but you can call me Batmite.
Okay. Well then.
The Adventures of Batman.
Welcoming you to the new adventures of Batman.
Welcome to episode number 24 of Batmanimation, a Batman on Film.com podcast. I didn't even have to. It just rolled off my tongue this time. I'm getting so used to saying that word that I struggled with it at first, Pete Verra. It was a word that I had issues pronouncing properly. Of course, I have a lot of words I have issues.
I do as well,
properly,
actually.
But anyway. How are you doing?
I'm good. I actually do have trouble pronouncing that word. That's why I call it cartoon by cartoon.
Cartoon by cartoon.
That's why.
Batmanimation. Look at that. Boom. Just came right off. This is the podcast here on Batman on Film where we talk about various animated incarnations of Batman, usually from the various TV series. Occasionally we do the movies. That's all fair game. If it's animated and it's Batman, it can be on Batmanimation. So today we are venturing back to a animated series that I'm particularly fond of. That would be Batman the Brave and the Bold. We're going to take on an episode from season 1. It was the 19th installment of that season, and it is titled Legends of the Dark Mite. And it's one of my favorite episodes from The Brave and the Bold. So before I asked you to be on this show and told you which episode we were doing, had you ever seen this episode before?
No, this is the first time watching this.
All right. This makes it even better for me. First time you watched it. Okay.
Yep.
So then, what'd you think?
I love it. I'm actually a pretty big Batmite fan. So this was kind of a surprise that you picked this episode.
So you are,
like,
you're a Batmite fan for real.
Yeah. I like Batmite. I like imps. Batmite, Mixolydic. Like I like imps. I think they're really interesting and cool characters in the DC universe.
Okay. So you like the Silver Age Batmite, those stories where he popped up in the 50s are...
Yeah, I actually got introduced. I forget which cartoon it was, but it's one of those old school cartoons. I can't remember if it's...
it's got to be the New Adventures of Batman.
But he's kind of like purplish, I think.
Yeah. That's terrible. That's
kind of how I got introduced to Batmite. And then he popped up in like some comics and stuff. And then I did a lot of retroactive reading and... Yeah, I enjoy the character a lot, so this was a treat.
All right, so I knew Batmite from reading the old reprints from the Silver Age stories, and basically, I think the Superman one came first, Mixolydic or whatever.
You can call him Mixie now. They call him Mixie.
So he's basically the Batman version of that. They kind of coexisted around the same time in the late 50s. And then he disappeared from Batman.
I always thought Mixie was more of a villain. I feel like Batmite's just more of a nuisance, right?
Yeah. I'd agree with that. So he came about in the mid-late 50s. I forget the exact comic. I think it was an issue of Detective Comics. There is. I think it was
257.
Yeah, I could hit the Google machine just off the top of my head. I can't remember. And when Batman, the editorial, uh, Batman editorial changed the direction of Batman in the mid 60s, basically. Batmite, a lot of that stuff that we saw in the Silver Age disappeared. Batwoman, the original Batgirl, and all that stuff. Ace the Bat Hound, all that stuff was gone, including Batmite. And I remember I was a kid. I was probably 11, 12 years old when that New Adventures of Batman animated series came out. And even then, I thought that show was not that good, and I didn't care much for that version of Batmite. But he's popped back up in some relatively recent stuff. Did you like how Grant Morrison used Batmite? I thought it was kind of and I'm not a big Grant Morrison guy, and I'm not a big, I'm not in love with his run on Batman like a lot of people are, but I did thought it was his version of Batmite was kind of clever.
It's probably one of the better parts of that. I'm not a big like RIP Batman type guy, guy. Like that's not my cup of tea. But I think Batmite is one of the better aspects of that whole storyline and everything. I think he recently Joshua Williamson did like a Batman Superman annual with Batmite and Mixie and Superman and Batman that was very well written, and I've enjoyed that. What was it called? I think there was like a prestige issue like Mitefall.
Yeah.
That was impressive. I saw that. Yes. That's his second appearance in the show actually too. It's called Mitefall. Yeah. So that's also like worth checking out if you like Batmite, if you're into Batmite.
Yes. So he pops up in Batman the Brave and the Bold, and I really like this version of Batmite. You have Paul Reubens, otherwise known as Pee Wee Herman,
who has quite the Batman legacy himself now.
Yes,
once I think about it,
he also he was played Oswald Cobblepot's father in Batman, kind of a cameo in Batman Returns back in 1992.
And in Gotham, by the way, he came back in Gotham and played the same.
He was in Gotham.
Yeah, well, who wasn't?
Okay, see, that's how I cut bait and run on that show real early.
Well, after you left, but yeah.
Okay, what did he play in Gotham?
Oswald's father.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, you learn something new every day. I'm always learning, Pete. I'm a lifelong learner.
And in like 5 years, when you have questions about Gotham Knights, I'll be here.
Well, was he in Gotham Knights? Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right. So this was like I think I said it at the beginning of the show. This is like one of my very favorite episodes because it's full of Batman history and nods and Easter eggs. And it also there's a little bit of making fun of, not making fun of, I guess, kind of. Yeah, I guess I might.
It's just self-aware.
It's making fun of fanboys.
Oh yeah. Well,
and
that
even
convention's great.
Yeah, even making fun of people like me.
I thought of you specifically.
Who dismissed this series when it first came out. I was like, this is not for me. This is not my Batman. So we'll get to that part when we go through the episode. So they have the cold opening, which is a trademark of this series, and they usually have nothing to do with the main story. And this is no different.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like every show's pretty much like this.
Nice.
And so you've got, and that's how they get a lot of the Batman history, a lot of DC history, in it is they bring in with these little short, these cold openings that they'll bring an obscure character that has nothing to do with the main story. So, and one of the things I love about it, and this one is Catman, and they bring up Catman selling a tiger to a bunch of bidders who want to eat the tiger. And then Batman, he's in the jungle, Okay, so he's probably like in Africa or Asia, and then Batman shows up.
Yeah.
And what does Catman say? Something like, "You're a long way from Gotham, Batman," and Batman gives a "never far from crime, Catman." Which I loved. I love those lines like that.
That's Dietrich Bader, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
got a
love
good
him as
bat
Batman.
voice.
Yeah,
Very good bat voice.
apparently he is in Batman Cape Crusader in the cast. I don't know what the role is though. They haven't said yet. He mentioned it.
Interesting.
So Batman proceeds to take on Catman and ends up getting help from one of my favorite Batman characters, Ace the Bat Hound. Guy, I'm so ready for Ace the Bat Hound to be in a live action Batman movie. So Ace ends up the
Do you have a favorite
Catman.
version of Ace?
Oh, never thought
I
of
know I
that.
do actually.
I I liked Ace in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
Yeah. I like Ace whenever he shows up.
I like Ace when he's not like what was it? We did when I was doing the Batman book club, there was a short story in Batman Urban Legends involving Batman and Ace, and
Yeah.
it was pretty damn good. It was pretty damn
Yeah.
good. So if you want to check that out for a good Ace the Bat Hound story, look out for
Ace is
Batman
a
Urban
is a
Legends.
good character. I mean, it's not. You could easily show up in the Batman. Maybe Bruce Wayne just has a dog. Name's Ace. That's it. It's all you
Yeah,
know.
I love it.
All you got to do. Yeah, doesn't mean he has to put on his own little dog bat cow or anything like that. You just have a dog. So Ace pops in. Batman whistles for him. Catman had released the tiger, and Ace kicks the tiger's ass, basically. Then Batman gets cornered, or Catman gets cornered in a tree, and Batman and Ace have saved the day, saved the tiger
Yes.
from being eaten by a bunch of assholes who are bidding on him, and and boom, we go into the opening, the theme music, the credits. And every time I watch an episode of this and the theme music comes on, you just got to get up and do a jig. You got to do a dance, don't you?
It's a catchy little tune. I was watching. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Yeah. Was it? This comes right off the heels of the Batman, right? Originally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you go from BTAS to the Batman to this. That's not bad. That's a pretty good run of theme songs there.
Yeah, Batman's got some good theme songs. I'm
Yeah.
Have you yeah, you and I did the Batman. We did on the last show with the
Yes.
Batgirl
Yeah,
Begins.
Batgirl Begins. Yeah.
I like the first theme song from the Batman, the one by The Edge.
Okay. Yeah, I like it
Yeah.
with all the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they changed it to something that's a more, actiony, cartoony type, and I was not a fan of it. Anyway, so we get to the main story, and it opens up. Their Batman encounters some robbers, and it's typical, Batman taking on some Gotham criminals,
Yeah.
just regular old criminals. And then, boom, Batmite starts narrating, pops up, and announces himself as he's Batman's biggest fan, and proceeds just to interfere and start effing up everything Batman is trying to do, and ends up wanting to change his costume. I really like. Did you like that part? And he goes, "We got to do something about the costume."
I enjoyed the Clooney cameo.
Yeah, you had Vampire Batman,
Frank Miller
right?
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a what? That's a
Kelly Jones.
Yeah, Kelly
Batman.
Jones. What was that? It's one of Red Rain.
Red Rain.
Yeah. You had like El Gaucho, who's actually part of the Batman Incorporated or League of Batman. You had Adam West show up.
He was there. Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Too campy, he says. You had the Clooney Batman and Robin make an appearance. His costume, Zebra Batman, and then ends up the Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller, hulking Batman that Batmite proclaims is too psycho. So I loved all that. See,
it was great.
Now aren't you seeing why I love this show so much?
Yeah, which we like. I know you're excited for James Gunn's Batman.
Well, that remains to be seen. Are we really going to call it James Gunn's Batman? Because if we do that,
what do you want me to call it for now?
DCU Batman.
DCU, fine. He's writing and directing everything, you know.
It wouldn't shock me. That is TBD, to be determined, sir. My opinion on that. I have to see that. So then Batmite's wanting to get Batman, fighting some kind of his greatest villain, or the most the villain to give him the biggest challenge. So he thinks of Gorilla Grodd. So you get to see Gorilla Grodd. That's one of your favorite characters, right, Pete?
I'm actually a big Grodd fan. Yeah, big.
Isn't Gorilla Grodd really? He's a Flash character, right?
Yes.
He'd be under the Flash banner. Okay.
But I do think it's interesting how Batman is trying to like show Batmite how like it's not easy being Batman. You think you can do this? Like I kind of appreciate the challenge.
What's Batman say? He said, "I do this because I take on criminals that regular police can't handle." He gives a reason. Your old pal Solomon Grundy pops up.
There's a lot in here that I like.
Gorilla Grodd, Solomon Grundy. I gotta say, I was like,
you're making me want to watch the show.
Shaggy Man,
things I like.
Shaggy Man, and then ends up Calendar Man, where Batman, tells him just to take a dive here. We gotta get out of this nonsense. I thought was
hysterical.
Yeah. And eventually Batmite gives him superpowers and makes him a giant, turns him into Calendar King. So
this I thought was very creative because I really dug this.
All right, well, go. Tell me.
Just the whole like army of jack-o'-lanterns, and Uncle Sam's, and the mutant Easter bunnies, which I thought you picked this episode because it was Easter themed.
Maybe I did.
that was really interesting, which leads us into the convention, and then your cameo with Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, and that was pretty magnificent. I thought I liked how Bruce Timm just goes,
yeah. Bruce Timm, Joker Bruce Timm.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny.
So let's talk about let's talk about the convention. So he goes to this convention, and it has some ridiculous name, but the banner very much looks like same colors and kind of the fonts of Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, I should say. And it's a bunch of Batman fans, and they're kind of poking fun at, the convention scene, and you have all these different fans in Batman attire. You spot any cameos in there besides Paul Dini? And I swear one of them looks like Kevin
Well, I thought Miss Romano was on stage, obviously with her trademark haircut. Yeah. I kind of figured that was her.
The writers are all, I believe
absolutely. One of them is, I think, I'm trying to figure out who else the other people were. I was trying to figure that out. Because I know they've got to be somebody, because they love throwing that stuff in there. But no, that was it. Mr. Romano, Bruce Timm, and Paul Dini were the only ones I saw.
I swear one of them looks like Kevin Smith. Doesn't say anything. He's just in the audience.
Maybe possibly. I mean, I'm looking at it now.
So, the one gets up and says, I'm paraphrasing. Batman's a dark Avenger. This is not my Batman.
He's fighting aliens. What are you doing?
And you've got all the writers are whispering, up
the response
stage.
Is great. The response
read
is
this. They
hand
it to Batman, hand him a
and he snaps with the glasses. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. Sheet of paper, and he basically says, Batman's has such a rich history. He can be interpreted in many different ways, and they're all valid, which is 100% absolutely spot on true, and I agree with. Even though there are some versions of Batman that aren't my cup of tea, yes, they're all valid. They're all valid, and they all have their fans, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, for
even
Christ's
Gotham.
sakes, even freaking some people even like Batman Returns. You know,
Like, I love Batman Returns, baby. I love it. Oswald.
So he ends up
trick.
We get back to away from the convention. I love the whole convention scene. That was great.
Yeah, no, I like it when they poke fun at the fan base, or at least the ridiculousness that sometimes we all take part in, and it's very like okay, I've done this at times. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
I've been a snooty Batman fan. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm with you. So he ends up talking Batmite of going back to the fifth dimension. He said, I'll give you an official Batarang, and I'll even sign it and gives it to him. But that doesn't do the trick, because he gets back to the Batcave and he starts talking about how much of a pain in the ass Batmite was to Ace. And Ace just happened to be that Ace was Batmite in disguise.
Oh, so good.
So he gets pissed off and zaps Batman to an alien world, which
this is your favorite Batman in space. You love Batman.
Well, what it did remind me of, and I don't know if this is necessarily the case, but it looked a lot like. You ever read Robin Dies at Dawn from early 60s? That story?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And that's the whole, Batman is hallucinating,
Mm-hmm.
It looked very much like that alien world from that comic book story.
That's a good call. I think I might have that actually in my long boxes. It might be one of my few treasured issues. Key issues, I like to call it. But
that's what it reminded me of. The aesthetic of that alien world was reminding me of that story. Yeah.
I like that whole sequence in the fifth dimension where, Batman's running away from all of Batman's villains. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
That was the twist where Batman,
didn't do
all
anything.
Of a sudden there's aliens, there's UFOs, and they're attacking Batman, and then Batman just says, F it, and he sits down like on a big toadstool or something, and it was like, and Batman's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm just take me out. I'm done with this, foolishness, essentially." And then he kind of does a switcheroo on him.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get to that last part, let's take just a moment for these words from our sponsor. All right, so we're back. So he convinces Batmite that he can be Batman. And
good luck.
Batmite goes, yeah, I can be Batman. Then he puffs up into this huge Batman body with a little Batmite head on it.
Yep.
And there's a great nod to Batman the Animated Series, right? Did you like that?
Yes, I did. I thought it was adorable. I did. That's honestly like Batmite in general. Like this version of Batmite is just adorable. Like he's got like that little kid vibe, that kind of like little brother who looks up to Batman, like wants to be Batman stuff. He's got that vibe, but he's with that whole like imp twist. So this is a really good interpretation of Batmite overall. Like just I kind of dig this whole take. This is usually where I lean towards with Batmite.
Yeah, and you've got a bunch of Batman villains, the Silver Age aesthetic versions of them. Let's see, you have Mr. Freeze or
Mr. Zero.
Mr. Zero. Yeah, yes,
I like that.
Mr. Zero. Joker.
That's you could tell that James Tucker in this, the attention to detail.
Yeah. Kite Man. Who am I missing here? Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man had some really cool moments as well. Throwing
Zebra
these dots
Man
and stuff.
Yeah. Wasn't that Polka Dot Man one of the highlights of the Suicide Squad movie?
Yes.
It's
I have a
pretty
Polka Dot
awesome.
Man action figure now.
It was like, I'm a fucking superhero.
Boom.
Paf. Okay.
Uh,
Spoiler alert. Sorry. Anyway, I like that whole part with the Batman built Two-Face also,
the
is
coin
in
is around
there,
too.
and Mad Hatter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Catwoman. Who am I missing? There's some other ones, right? Am I missing anybody here?
Tweedledee, Tweedledum,
Tweedledee, Tweedledum, yeah. Okay. And
Tiger
uh
Shark.
so eventually Batmite realizes it's tough being Batman. It's a tough gig, tough job, and relents his vengeance or his whatever, his vendetta against Batman, and Batman is no longer his little toy he's going to break, and sends Batman back to Gotham. And that's kind of how we end. But there's a kind of a little cool ending, the ending where Batmite finds himself a new a new hero. Did you like that part?
I enjoyed that. I was curious. I was wondering, like, is that Batmite or is that a Green Arrow's version of his imp? Like, I'm curious if we have
it's Batmite, and
it's supposed to be Batmite.
the thing is,
and I think it's still great.
Green
He's
Arrow
just kind of a fanboy.
He was one of the the of the characters who showed up more than once, kind of had a reoccurring role. Is one of them was Green Lantern, and during that Green Arrow during season 1. So it was just and he was always, and he's a little bit of he's portrayed a little bit as a kind of a Batman wannabe, looks up to Batman, right? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Younger than Batman, this incarnation.
He looks really, well, he's pre-goatee here. So
yeah, this is 1950s Silver Age, straight up Green Arrow version. And so now Batmite has turned his attention to Green Arrow and says, I'm your biggest fan, and that's how it ends. And this Green Arrow has a look of just shock on his face. And
what is this?
It ends. Yeah. So that is the story. That is of this episode. It might be my favorite episode. And I have
very interesting.
I have a lot of favorite episodes, but I think the nods to Batman history, the poking fun at fandom and the Comic-Con scene, and a lot of the Batman mythos. This was like front and center in this episode particularly, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm really I'm glad that I was hoping to pick one that you had never watched, because I know you haven't watched very many of them, so it probably wasn't that hard to do. I was actually picking Batmite because I thought you were being tongue-in-cheek about being a Batmite fan. So
no, I love Batmite.
Okay,
actually.
So as someone who had just saw this episode, which originally came out on May 29th of 2009, so it's 14 years. Golly, 14 years since this episode.
Jeez.
What
I think it's great. I think it's pretty brilliant. I think it captures the essence of Batmite pretty well. Characterization for everyone's pretty much spot on, even with the lighter tone. Like you said, I haven't watched very many of these Batman Brave and the Bold, but the few that I have seen, I've enjoyed. So I'm probably gonna have to start watching this from square one.
Doesn't it make you want to just binge this series?
It does. Well, it's just funny. I'm because of this show, this podcast, I've actually been watching a lot more cartoons. Like, just because I watch what you guys talk about, and then I kind of when I want to do my own, I watch, obviously. So I've been watching a lot of animated Batman, and it's actually been really enjoyable, because you can get 2 episodes in a sitting pretty easily for pretty much anything. So
when I say binge it, I mean you don't want to sit down and watch. Spend the whole
I do, because I want to check it out. Yeah,
but, I want to check it out. You spend a couple hours and get 2, 3, 4 episodes in, and it's they're all self-contained, but there is a little bit, the characters that reoccur. They kind of bring their past, some of the past storylines with them. Aquaman is a great character in this.
That's what everyone says. I know Justin loves this
Awesome.
Aquaman.
Awesome. Yeah.
And,
Or I should
like,
say outrageous. Yes. Yeah. Outrageous. So at some point down the line, not in the near future, I'll pull out the I'll get you back on. We'll do one of the episodes with Aquaman. Which is great.
Sure. I'll be down for it.
All right.
This is good. I think it's a lot better than I remember. Maybe, I don't know. I could have just been in a phase where this Batman just didn't really kind of resonate with me. Maybe it was around the time where I didn't really appreciate 66 as much as I did. Like we've all been there. So maybe that's where I was.
So you were like, because look, I'll tell this story before.
I mean, Mr. Freeze is wearing lime green, so
yeah,
it's pretty strange to me.
But you go look at the comics, Mr. Zero. That's what it looked like. This was, I got a screener when it first came out, and I watched it, and I had seen the some of the artwork they had released before the screener, and I'm like, yeah, this is probably not for me. And I even watched the first one. The first one has Blue Beetle in it, and I thought, this is okay. But I stayed with it because I decided I had been reviewing. I reviewed like all of the Batman, each episode of the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was the new one. So I was going to continue reviewing it. So that's why I watched it, because I had to assign myself the job of reviewing the episodes, and I just freaking love it. I just loved it.
Okay.
That's how I came to it. So, and it ends up being my favorite animated Batman series, which people still, I tell them, they go, how? And it's easy. It's Batman history, Batman mythos, and it's a love letter to Batman. It's just like, to me, it's the same vein as the Lego Batman movie. Yeah. All right. Any last words on Legends of the Dark Mite?
It's pretty brilliant. It's pretty brilliant, I have to say.
Writing's very good. Very good.
Overall, it's
Paul Dini. Paul Dini wrote this episode.
It's one of the best animated Batman episodes I think I've ever watched.
Oh, wow. That's high praise.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's I think so. I think there's a lot they nail, and they do it very well. Like, you easily could screw this up. Like, Batmite in general, like, you could make it really cheesy and corny and campy, and really do
like
that.
The New Adventures of Batman, that series from 1977. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. But that's that'll always be special to me, because that's like, that created so much curiosity. I was like, who is this flying elf in Batman pajamas? So I tried to read up on him and learn up on him, even at a young age. Like, he was just a fascinating
character. The way he looked.
He just seemed so un-Batman. So I was so curious.
The way he looked in that episode, in that series, it reminded me of, you remember Kazoo in the Flintstones?
Yeah.
Remember Kazoo showed up in the later episodes?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Kazoo, like, the great Kazoo.
I think I was just like, at the time, I was a young kid. So like, I'm home during the day, and I feel like those episodes or those versions of those cartoons were on a lot when I was sick at home or when I was younger and just staying or whatever. Like, and that's kind of, and when you mentioned it, I was like, Kazoo, it was like, this is bringing back memories. I believe I was just watching old cartoons at home during the day. So yeah, it's just funny. Is it because he seems he's unlike any other Batman character. Obviously, he's not of this world. He's like, but it's like, just imps in general are so interesting, so fast. I love it. Ryan Lauer hates imps. That's not even a lie. That's like the God's honest truth. Ryan Lauer hates imps.
Like, if Batmite showed up, like straight up Batmite as a actual imp in a Batman comic book story that was it's supposed to be serious, I would probably not like it. But like I said, I like the way Grant Morrison did it, where it's Batman.
Check out the Batman Superman annual from, I forget. I'll send you a link, but if you can find it somewhere.
Okay.
It's really good. Really good.
I think because the Great Kazoo from the Flintstones, Batmite, and Mr. Mixoplick, whatever. I think they're all related. I think they're cousins.
I think they are. I think
they're cousins.
Mixie's just a bad guy,
That's
man.
like
I would like to see Mixie as the bad guy of a Superman movie. I think that could be interesting.
It's all connected.
Well, we do know Batmite exists. I mean, Peacemaker said he does. Don't forget that.
That's true. That is true.
James Gunn. Batman. It's all connected.
Did you read my Batman story on April 1st about the Batman Part 2?
Yes, I did. You had me.
Did I?
No, because I know you do this every year. I've been following you for 20-some years.
I haven't done one in a couple years. This was a new one.
Is it? I was like, he's back. Because I can tell by the title.
What, they were doing double duty?
Yeah, double duty. They already are doing double duty. One's Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Triple duty for Pattinson.
Triple duty.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, what we're talking about, go check out the Batman on Film story about the Batman Part 2 from April 1st, 2023. Had a bunch of people email me going,
"No, you didn't.
You freaking got me." Yes, I did. Yep.
Anybody worth any notable people? Don't have to say their names, but just yes or no. Anybody notable, or was it just fans of the site? I'm just curious.
Fans.
Okay.
Yeah. This one was right up there with my the one I did. It might have been the best one I ever did because people really bought that one more than anything. Was when I said Andy Serkis was cast as Batman and would be CGI
mocap,
and Kevin Conroy was voicing Batman and Matt Reeves the Batman. Let me top these. All right.
I remember that one. That was a good one. That's a very good
one. All right. So now you go you can plug something, and then after that, go watch some more Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
You can follow me on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon, Verra, which is Zack Snyder's favorite social media platform, at Pete Illustrated. You can follow my news-based podcast that I co-host with the Champion of Long Island, Straight Outta Gotham, at straight_O_G. I have a Spider-Man podcast, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition. That's at Italians for Spidey on Twitter. I do that with Nicholas and Nico Caruso. That's a lot of fun. At Team Yellow Oval's fun because Keaton's back. We're all getting our merch. I'm really excited. I got a little Keaton keychain here that came in the mail the other day, so I'm very excited about that.
I got is that a Funko?
Yeah, it is. It's a little Funko keychain. So
I got really they have one for Keaton, Batman from the Flash. Yeah. Okay, I've got the I might pick that up. I've got the Pattinson from the Batman little keychain. Nice.
What do we got? I'm all over BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube. I got Detective Comics reviews and articles, and Bill posts my podcast on the website, so you all get to know about it. And every month I appear on the Batman Book Club with Ryan Lauer for his monthly recap show. So I'm all over the place. Bill, you can carry it out here.
Yeah, I just go to Batman-on-film.com. You can check everything out there. We are celebrating the 25th anniversary of Batman on Film this year, all year. I'll be giving away I gave away 25. A t-shirt. I'm giving away a t-shirt a month, plus some other stuff will be thrown in each month as a prize pack. Are
you shipping out any gumbo? Is everyone getting like a little serving of gumbo?
Now you got me thinking. I gotta check how to ship. I have to buy dry ice and the whole 9 yards.
Imagine that, a t-shirt and some authentic
and some gumbo. Yeah,
Jett gumbo.
But yeah, it is April. We're recording this on April 7th, 2023. So we're giving away one in April. The April contest is open. On this one, you have to answer 2 Batman on Film trivia questions. And I did say what they were on our last show, which was when we did the last time we did a Batmanimation. So a couple weeks ago. But there is a page on the website that has the questions now for the April giveaway.
I think I remember them.
Yeah, check those out. I'll just say it now. 2 questions. Number 1, what was the original name of Batman on Film, the website? What was its original name? Number 2, on what sort of device was the website created? Okay, those 2 questions. You got to get them right to win the t-shirt. All right, I think that's all I got. Oh, and if you want to support Batman on Film, patreon.com, patreon.com/Batman on Film. And the Batman on Film t-shirts, the 25th anniversary logo and all the other logos, whatever, are all, you can get them at tpublic.com/Batman on Film as well. Even got the old, the Watch Party logo shirts.
Those are still selling, huh?
Yeah, get you one. It's like, it's like having a band shirt, like
I did. I have like 3 of them.
Yeah, like, wear a Van Halen World Tour 1984, one of those type shirts,
I'm glad they're still. I like it's variant red.
Yes. And it's, you can say, you were there. Dallas, Texas, got the whole 9 yards.
You were there.
Just like a concert band shirt, concert tour shirt. All right. So that's all I got. Announcer Rachel will finish up here, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to Batmanimation, a BatmanOnFilm.com podcast revisiting the animated TV and film adventures of the Caped Crusader. Follow Batmanimation on Twitter @Batmanimation. Follow BOF on Twitter @TheBatmanOnFilm. Follow Jett on Twitter @BatmanOnFilm. For Jett and Team BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive, the original, established in 1998.